What is this doctrine of eminent domain? Let's see, what does it say? Gorgias gave this term, eminent domain. State take over the private property of the individuals for public purposes. That means what? Private right is overruled by public right, public purpose. Private purpose, if you are holding property for your own private purpose, but for the same piece of land or for the same property, a larger public purpose is to be served, then it can be taken over by the state. This right has been given to the state. So even state can take over any private property of any individual, provided it is required for a public purpose. This is important. State cannot arbitrarily take away a private property. There must be a public purpose involved in that. My house, if it is on the roadside and that piece of land is required for widening the road or for putting up an expressway or any other, for that matter, any other public purpose. Maybe an airport is to be expanded, maybe a metro line is to be extended. These are all public purposes. So that piece of land can be taken over by the state. That means who has got the domain? Eminent domain is with the state. State has domain over not only the property owned by the state or under the control of the state, but also on private property. But subject to the condition, if only, see, otherwise what happens? It is infringing upon your own right to own property, to possess property. Isn't it? Though the US Constitution keeps it as a fundamental right, but Indian Constitution also gives it now, at least after 44th Amendment, has made it a legal right. See, fundamental rights does not mean that it is an absolute right. For that matter, any other right. I think I have repeated this term umpteen number of times that no right is absolute. It is subject to reasonable restrictions. And public interest, public order are the main reasonable restrictions. Subject to those restrictions. Anyway, if property is a fundamental right in USA, wouldn't the USA have faced similar problems as the Indian government faced here? Now, my dear friend, I tell you, state cannot simply take over any property, be it US or India. The concerned parliament or the legislature has to make a law for that. Take the case of India, even when before 44th Amendment also, if the state had to acquire any property, any private property, there is a Land Acquisition Act. So, similarly, we can say the US might have also passed, I am not aware of that, but yes, if they are following the same pattern, the same system, the same process of acquiring land, private land, they must be having a law or their fundamental law, that is US Constitution, might be permitting it in some way or the other. Here we are not discussing US Constitution. We are discussing that property is still a fundamental right. Owning a property, right to own property is still a fundamental right as far as US is concerned. We got this concept and incorporated it in the form of a fundamental right, but later on, after amendment, because certain difficulties were being faced by the state in acquiring property. Because it's not that easy to infringe a fundamental right. Yesterday only we have discussed that, you can straight away go to the apex court of the land or a high court. You don't have to follow the normal legal procedure. 3 conditions are required for acquisition: existence of public purpose, payment of compensation, that must be done by authority of law. That means what? Land Acquisition Act is the authority of law that gives us the calculation of compensation, or there is a provision that compensation has to be paid, and then of course there must be a public purpose for which that property is to be